Minasama ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning and welcome to our June Shotsuki Memorial Service at Higashi Hongwanji, Hawaii, Betsuin. And a special aloha goes out to families observing Shotsuki this month in memory of someone you may have lost in July of a past year. Shotsuki Memorial Services, like today's service, provide an opportunity for families to get together to thank those who came before us and think of them for the lives that they shared with us. And so we think of our parents, our grandparents, and others, countless others who made it possible for us to be here this morning to listen to the Dharma together this morning. Today's service will be officiated by Rinban Takami Inoue, assisted by temple and district headquarters ministers. I am Ken Saiki, and I'll be serving as your MC this morning. To begin our service for today, please join me for a minute of silent meditation as we sit quietly, close our eyes, and prepare ourselves for listening. Thank you. We'll now begin the chanting of the Amidakyo Sutra, which you'll find on page 70 of the service book in front of you. Again, that's page 70 of the Red Service book. And if you wish, you may follow the English translation underneath that translates the sutra, and as in the bottom of the page. During the chanting, I'll be calling names, and you may come up for oshoku, or offering of incense, as I call the names. Before we begin the chanting, may I ask you to put your palms together for a brief gasho. I'll be calling names of those who we are observing Shotsuki for, and you may come up for Oshoku after I call their names. First of all, we have Miss Janet Kyoko Kuroyama, Mrs. Sumiko Hamada, Mr. Minoru Higa, Mr. William Takeji Higuchi, Mr. Takeshi Hiraki, Mr. David Masato Imura, Mr. Dennis Seizo Inamine, Ms. Susan Akiko Kaito, Mr. Ben Fuyumori Kaito, Mr. Yasushige Anishiro, Ms. Ivy Lynn Harumi Kawasaki, Ms. Audrey Miyoko Kimura, Mr. Ralph Munio Kogami, Mr. Katsu Kudo, Mrs. Janice Chio Maekawa, Mrs. Doris Midori Maruoka, Mr. Michael Toshio Matsuda, Mrs. Harriet Haruko Matsuda, Mrs. Jean H. Matsumoto, Mr. Susumi Matsunaga, Mr. Walter Mr. Walter Noboru Matsuzaki, Mr. Patrick T. Miyamura, Ms. Janice Naomi Miyashiro, Mrs. Mitsuko Miyazaki, Mrs. Hinayo Miyazaki, Mrs. Gladys Asaka Murakami, Mrs. Hida Hiroko Murata, Mrs. Machiko Muratsuchi, Mr. George Satoru Nagahisa, Mr. Torao Nakano, Mrs. Anne Natsue Nekoba, Ms. Eleanor Natsuko Nonaka, Mr. George Moriso Oasa, Ms. Jane Ruriko Ogata, Mrs. Myra Hachiko Reyes, Mrs. Orio Sakamoto, Mr. Richard Kazuo Shimazu, Mr. Kelvin Kazuji Shimazu, Mr. Kenneth Shiro Shioi, Mrs. Esther Shioi Shiroi, Mr. Zennichi Saiki, Mrs. Kyoko Shojinaga, Mr. Donald Ikuo Sugai, Mr. Daniel Hajime Tagami, Ms. Gina Takami, Mrs. Edwina Takayama, Mr. Ikuto Taketa, Mr. Masao Takeuchi, Mrs. Chieko Tanaka, Mrs. Dorothy Chiome Tanaka, Mrs. Miyoko Tsuji, Mr. Thomas Tadao Tsukamoto, Mr. Thomas Seitsu Uehara, Mr. Minoru Uemura, Mr. Stanley Shigeo Ueno, Mr. James H. Yamaguchi, Mrs. Muriel Yashio Yamauchi, Ms. Irene Teruko Shimogawa, If there's anyone else observing Shotsuki who may have inadvertently left names out, you may come up at this time to offer. And anyone else desiring to offer incense may do so at this time. Thank you all for your participation. Reverend Toyoshima will now lead us in Vandana Ti-Sarana, which you'll find on page 17 of the Red Service Book. So please rise if you are able and remain standing for the reading of the three treasures, which you'll find on page 18.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddham saranam gacchami Dhammam saranam gacchami Sangham saranam gacchami. Difficult is it to receive life in human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma. Now we hear it. If we do not receive awakening in the present life, then in what life can we hope to receive it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together as one, begin on the great path of enlightenment, holding in our hearts the supreme aspiration. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together as one, enter the storehouse of the Dharma and attain true wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together as one, uniting in harmony, strive to live for the enlightenment of all beings. The incomparable, deep, and profound Dharma is difficult to encounter even through countless ages of kalpas. Now we're privileged to hear and receive it. Let us endeavor to thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you. You may be seated. And now we invite Rinban Inoue to the lectern to present his Dharma message.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Shotsuki Memorial Service at Higashi Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii. My name is Takami Inoue, and I'd like to deliver a short Dharma message this morning. And it's a very nice day in July, and I'd like to talk briefly about meaning of the memorials of Shotsuki, and also the significance of the lotus flower as a symbol of Jodo Shinshu's, our denomination, our traditions, awakening. And recently I had a wonderful opportunity to see lotus flowers in full bloom in a lotus farm in the north shore of Oahu. And I'd like to share my experience with you. Before going into that, the Shotsuki Memorial Service, as Ken Saiki he explained to us, the Shotsuki Memorial Service, every month, the first Sunday in our temple, we observe Shotsuki Memorial Service. And those who pass away, who have been born in the Pure Land before us, we remember them at that occasion, Shotsuki Memorial Service, and they are already in this side, Pure Land. And they, as Buddhas, they encourage us to walk on the path, Buddhist path to the Pure Land. And also they invite us to listen to the Buddhist teaching at this occasion. So they are now working as Buddha toward us. They invite us to come to temple and share the Dharma. And today I'd like to focus on the central Buddha. In this side, the Pure Land, our tradition, central Buddha is the Amida Buddha. And if you can see from there, I'm not sure, but he stands on the pedestal symbolizing lotus. It's not actually flower. He's in the position of lotus petals, and lotus receptacle is the pedestal of his inside the altar, and it's colored green. So outside, it's in Japanese. It's gaku. It's I don't know the English name. It's not a leaf, but protects the receptacle of the lotus flower, and from there, lotus petals. So Amida Buddha occupies the position of the lotus flower petals. So Amida Buddha is the symbol of the lotus flower, and that symbolizes Buddha, awakening. In Indian tradition, Hasunohana, lotus flower, symbolizes awakening. Shakyamuni Buddha's awakening, and also other Buddhas too. If you look toward the right side, farthest to the right, you see scrolls, hanging scrolls with names. And the name's Myogo scroll. And maybe you cannot see from there your position, but the name is Dharma names and secular names of the members who have passed and in the Pure Land. Now the Buddha in the Pure Land. Their names are written. And at the center of those names is 6 characters, Namu Amida Butsu, at the center, top center. And Namu Amida Butsu stands on the lotus pedestal too. So that Namu Amida Butsu takes the position of this Amida Buddha and awakening, lotus flower. So flowering, opening flower is the symbol of awakening. And as we visited the lotus farm in Kailua, the north shore of Oahu, we saw many flowers in full bloom together. So the importance of this symbolization is lotus flower is not a flower in the high mountains like Edelweiss, flowering very small numbers and small flower. But lotus flower is near our the environment where we live. We lead our daily lives. And we see lotus flowers often in muddy pond or the muddy, usually a little stinky place. The waters are polluted by our daily activities. And usually it's very nutritious, but not clear and full of dirt and gomi. Many things are in the water. But lotus flowers change those dirty, nutritious stuff in the water. And they transform, purify those muddy water into that beautiful flower. And the water pond we visited this Friday, was Professor George Tanabe, the University of Hawaii's Professor Emeritus, who taught Japanese religion for many years at the University of Hawaii. And I learned from him that his grandfather came from Hiroshima and Iwakuni, that area, and he built a house there. And he did the farming of lotus. So lotus roots we eat, and renkon. And George Tanabe's grandfather exported those lotus roots to even the mainland too. So lotus flower is not just to see, but the roots are important nutrition for us to eat. So lotus flower is close to our lives, and they show us the transformation of muddy, dirty, stinky thing into beautiful, fragrant flower. And this transformation, the Buddhist teaching is like that. When we walk the Buddhist path and we go to the Pure Land in the end, but this transformation happens when we receive this teaching, listen to the teaching, and we naturally follow the Buddha's words, Buddha Dharma. So saying Namo Amida Butsu is the beginning of our Buddhist path to enlightenment, and Shinran Shonin emphasized that whenever we feel like saying Namo Amida Butsu, or here in the Hondo, we say Namo Amida Butsu together many times this morning already. And somebody said Namo Amida Butsu, and led by that, you join that chorus of Namo Amida Butsu. That's the beginning of awakening for us. Because Namo Amida Butsu, as you see on that scroll, Namo Amida Butsu is the awakening, symbolizes awakening. And it comes to us by the voice of somebody reaches your ear, and you feel like saying Namo Amida Butsu. And you come to the temple and join the service, and we say Namo Amida Butsu. At that moment, that's according to Shinran Shonin, it's already a beginning of our awakening. And Shinran Shonin emphasized that in his Shoshinge. I read the original part in Japanese reading. Monshin Yorai Guzeigan, Butsugon Kodai Shogesha, Zenin Myo Fundarike. And here, Fundarike is the Pundalika, Sanskrit word for lotus. Lotus flower is Pundalika in Indian language. So Shinran Shonin uses this Indian original word, Fundarike. So when we listen to Tathagata's vow, universal vow, and have faith in it, Shakyamuni Buddha called those people the great, excellent understanding, those who have the great and excellent understanding. Just listening to the original vow of Amida Buddha teaching this is the great understanding. You don't need to intellectually analyze and study it, but just follow the instruction, teaching, and say Namo Amida Butsu. Shakyamuni Buddha called that the great understanding. And they are known as the blooming lotus, Fundarike. Zenin Myo Fundarike means the Shakyamuni Buddha named them lotus flower, Fundarika. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu, we take the position of Amida and that 6 characters, Namo Amida Butsu. So although we are still Bonbu, ordinary being in this world, but this voice, Namo Amida Butsu, come from the Pure Land and become awakening in us, the seed of awakening in us. Namo Amida Butsu is the lotus flower. So lotus flower from our mouth, our voice. That's I think, the significance of saying Namo Amida Butsu. So you don't need to have any deep and wonderful satori or enlightenment. Just say Namo Amida Butsu. That's the working of this enlightenment of the Buddha. So you don't need to awaken by your own power or your own quality of the personal quality or ability, but when you say Nam Amitabha, this flowering, awakening happens in you. That's the, I think, message from Shindanshan. You don't need to study or analyze those teachings, but just follow the original vow, Amida's calling for us. Join us in saying Nam Amitabha, praising Amida. So I think that's the most important part. And this quality of lotus flower, transformation, purification, and other thing, important character is plural. The flower doesn't flower by itself, only one flower, but many flowers at the same time. In the lotus pond, lotus farm, we see flowering lotuses in many colors at one time. So our awakening, Jodo Shinshu's awakening is not one person, my awakening, but our awakening together in unison, in group. So we, in Zen tradition, if you sit and try to reach Satori, it's very close individual effort to reach there. But saying Nam Amitabha together is a group thing. So lotus flowers symbol is very suitable for representing that. Lotus flowers, usually they are connected by roots. We don't see the underwater, but they are connected by roots. Whole pond is all connected. From one seed of lotus, the entire pond, the flower, so many flowers flower at this time of year. So Jodo Shinshu's awakening is in group and it's connected with others. And that's the, I think, important part of Jodo Shinshu's mezame or awakening. It's not completely clear, but even with our problems, our daily problems and our problems of desire and bondo, the blind passions, we cannot avoid that. But this working of Amida Buddha's awakening in us, that helps us to keep walking the path to enlightenment, path to the Pure Land. I think that's an important character of Jodo Shinshu's teaching. At this memorial service, Shotsuki service, they are already in the Pure Land, those whose names are written on that scroll. But we are still here and we continue to live. And we are connected with those who have already been born in the Pure Land. As long as we remember them, their names and their faces and their voices, they are still alive in us. And they, as Buddhas, they led us to the Pure Land. They encourage us to say Nam Amitabha and keep on walking this path. はい、今朝はハスの花の話を少しさせていただきました。金曜日にハワイ大学に長年お勤めで、教えて、日本宗教を専門に教えてこられたジョージ・田辺先生が、ちょうど自分のおじいさんが、田辺先生のおじいさんが、ハスの、農家ですね、ハスを栽培して、今はそんなに広く残っていませんけれども、ハレイワのこちら、ノースショアの方ですけど、お家にまだハス池が残っていて、そこで、ハスが咲いているので、見に来ないかとお誘いをいただいて行ってきました。で、ハスの花を見て感じること、ハスは仏教の悟りのシンボル、象徴しますけれども、ハスの花がなぜ仏教の目覚め、ブッダのその目覚めを表すかっていうと、その汚れた水、泥水ですね。泥水のところに、根を張って、そこでそのいろんな老廃物とか汚いものを吸収して、ハスの根っこからそれが吸収されて、ハスの花のところまで行く間に変化が起きてですね、浄化されて、で、清らかな 香りもかぐわしい、そういう微妙高潔な、そういう花に変わる。その変化が仏教における、その仏教の教えを通して、煩悩にまみれた人間が目覚めて仏になっていく。そのことをよく表している。で、ハス、近くで見て、今回いろいろ種も、額のところから種がどうなっていて、それから茎を折ると、こう糸がずっと、ハスの糸ができるんですけど、そういうのも田辺先生からいろいろとお話をお聞きして、実際に手に取って、ハスの台座になっている部分ですね、ソケットのリセプタクルの部分も見せていただいて、日頃ハスは単純に仏教の目覚めの悟りの象徴だっていうだけで済ましていたのを、実際に花を間近に見て手に取っていろいろ考えるところがあって、皆さんにそのことをお伝えできたらと思いました。で、一番大事な点は、ハスの花一つじゃなくて、阿弥陀仏のところは一つで咲いていますけれども、あちらの、明号の軸のところにいると、亡くなられたメンバーの浄土に生まれて仏となられた方々の名前がありますけど、中心に南無阿弥陀仏、6時の明号があって、明号本尊と言いますが、明号が本尊、目覚めを表していて、その下のところに同じようにハスの台座があります。ですから、浄土真宗では6時の明号、南無阿弥陀仏というその声、文字、音声、それがハスの花に当たるわけです。目覚めの声としてある。親鸞上人はそのことを強く意識されていたと思います。で、正真言の中で、先ほど英語の方で紹介しました。問診如来偶税願、仏言広大証芸者、税人名踏んだりけ。教えを聞いて、阿弥陀仏の本願の教えを聞いて、その心を起こして、心が起きて、で、南無阿弥陀仏と唱えている人は、ハスの花、お釈迦様が名付けてくださっている。妙高人と言いますけど、特に優れた特進の念仏者のことを妙高人と言います。妙高人はこのハスの花のような人だという意味です。フンダリケというのは、フンダリーカというインドの言葉を漢字で写した音ですけれども、親鸞上人はそれをやっぱり念仏者、本当に本願を信じて南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏と唱える人は、その南無阿弥陀仏自体がハスの花ですから、6時のハスの花プンダリケと名付くと。その人が難しいことを分かっているか知っているかとか、そういうことには関係ないんです。その6時の名号自体がハスの花の働き、目覚めの働きを表した働きですから、それが私たちの口を通して私たちの中に働いてくださる。それが大事な点で、素直に教えを聞いて何万ダブお寺で名号を唱える、お念仏申すということが、浄土真宗の私たち門徒にとって目覚めの始まりですね。目覚めの最終到達点は迷いから解放される。まだ私たちは迷ってますけれど、もうすでに念仏を申すというところで、その悟りの働きが私たちの中に始まっているというふうに、親鸞上人は非常に積極的にお念仏を唱えて生きていくということを、私たちに教えてくださっています。そういう中でハスについて考えるとき、大事なことを今回特に感じましたけれども、ハスの花っていうのは一輪では咲かないんです。ハスの花は必ず池で根っこがつながっていて、田辺先生おっしゃってましたけど、一つの種から種を置くと何年かでも池中いっぱいにその根っこが広がっていって、上に出てる花はバラバラでたくさん一時期に咲くわけですけれど、もともとはみんなつながっている。人間もそうですね。人間も私たちももともとは同じところからつながって命のつながりを生きているわけですけれど、みんなが一緒に目覚める。ですから一人でポソポソっと南無阿弥陀仏というのも声に出すのも意味あると思いますけれど、大勢集まった時にみんなに聞こえるような声で一緒にお念仏をするという、そういうこともそのハスの花がハス池で咲いている、そういう状況。みんなで少しずつお互いにその目覚めを聞こえるようにですね、伝え合っていくということが、浄土真宗では大事なんではないかなというふうに感じました。でそれを多分親鸞上人は正成就、正成就の就っていうのは集まりっていう意味です。グループ、マルティチュー そういう集合的に一人で何か頑張っていい人間になる、清らかになるということじゃなくて、みんなが一緒にその清らかになる道を歩んでいくと、そういう蓮池のような状態ですね。蓮のたくさんの蓮が群生している、そういう池をイメージして、税人名踏んだり池というふうに親鸞聖人は歌われているんだというふうに思います。正月命日、正月のご命日にあたって、ちょうどこの蓮の花が満開になる時期ですので、そのことをお話しさせていただきました。ご清聴ありがとうございます。
Rinban, I believe the part where the flower sits, the heart part underneath, is called a seed pod receptacle. And only reason I know that is just by coincidence. Friday, we had gone to Chinatown, Kumiko and I went to a Vietnamese restaurant, and she was, I ordered my bun bao as usual, and she wanted to order something that was right next, the table next to us, was a shrimp salad. And, it's a really family place, and so the lady was eating it, even offered some of the salad to Kumiko, but she said, no, never mind, I'll order my own. And it turns out that it was a lotus salad, and it had this wonderful crunchy vegetable in it. And, I said, oh, well, that must be the lotus, because it's just like the rincon, except it was very thin. And it had the holes just like a rincon. So it's probably the rhizome that connects the roots, the big part that connects together, just has those holes. And it's so wonderful taste to it and texture. But, well, that was a long story for nothing, but at least I thought, what a coincidence that, you were talking of going to George and Willa Tanabe's farm, lotus farm. Okay. As far as announcements goes, first of all, please feel free to join us for refreshments, otogi refreshments at the Otani Center Social Hall on the other side of the parking lot, immediately following the service. At 11:30, our photography club will be meeting in the conference room. Okay, on a Thursday, July 9th, starting at 9 a.m., we're setting up for our Bon Dance for this coming weekend. Yes, that's why we saw the Yagura out in the middle of the parking lot. And we would appreciate any help putting up the lanterns, electric wiring. Maybe not anyone here, but folks that that are younger and able to climb up ladders. And let's see, we'll also be doing other chores like setting up yatai booths and food preparation. So, any help that you can offer will be much appreciated. And our Bon Dance is on both Friday and Saturday, July 10 and 11. Parking will be available starting at 4:30 at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church down the street and at Lana Kila Elementary School across the street here. And then 5:30, the food booths open. And 6:30 is the candle procession and mantoe service. And followed by Bon Dance at 7 o'clock. And participating with the music, both live and recorded, will be the Iwakuni Odori Aiko Kai, Honolulu Fukushima Bon Dance Club, and the Ryukyu-koku Matsuri Daiko. Food booths include, well, let's see. And we have a handy-dandy Bon Dance cheat sheet in case you want to know everything about what's going on. Well, we have korokke, takoyaki, yakisoba, microwavable udon and ramen, ribs, somen salad, shave ice from Shimazu Shave Ice, and of course, Bon Dance food is andagi. And the Betsuin will have a booth that you can get the spam musubi and on Friday and chili rice on Saturday. Also baked goods and confectionery from Minamoto Kichoan. So please come, and other booths will have a mini Nomi no Ichiba booth for a mini rummage sale, smaller items, and also a yukata booth. So if you don't have a yukata, you can pick one up while at the Bon Dance. So there's lots of things going on, so please feel free to come, and we'll be happy to see you. Okay, that's the Bon Dance. Let me see what else we have. On Sunday, July 12th, there's no Sunday service since we'll be doing a cleanup, the Bon Dance cleanup. And the following Sunday, July 19th, we'll be holding our annual Obon and Hatsubon service at 10 a.m. here in the main hall. And it'll also be on YouTube, followed by our Betsuin board meeting starting at 11:30 in the conference room. Also on Sunday, July 19th is our first session of the 6-week Japanese for Travelers class, conversational Japanese, starting at 12 noon at the Otani Center, led by Betty Santoki. If you'd like to make traveling in Japan a more enjoyable experience, you might want to know some key phrases for shopping, eating, and sightseeing. And this class may be just what you're looking for. There's no charge, and so it's just fun to attend the class. For a complete listing of activities at the temple, you can check out our newsletter, which you can get by mail or by email, or I don't know. Is it posted in the website? Not yet. Okay. And you'll find a copy in the hallway as you go out. Are there any other announcements? If not, if you're able, please rise and join in the singing of the Gata Ondokusan, which you'll find on page 112. Thank you. This concludes our service. I hope we'll see you in the Otani Center, and maybe see you again soon here at the temple. Mahalo and aloha.